Hey guys, so we're going to be learning how to shine a shoe today. It's a pretty simple process. For freshmen that are just joining the ROTC program, this isn't really too difficult, but you will get brand new shoes, so it is going to take a couple of times of shining for it to actually start looking like it got shined. I will also show you guys how to spit shine, how to tie your laces properly. Yeah, it should be pretty easy. So, first off, you're gonna need a boot brush. These things are pretty inexpensive. You can pretty much get it just about anywhere that sells shoes. You can get it at Walmart. You're also gonna need some shoe polish, all right? This stuff you can also get at Walmart, all pretty cheap. If you guys do need help with money-wise, feel free to talk to Commander, Master Sergeant, or any of the members on staff, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. So, when you're shining a shoe, right? You're shining a shoe, and I'll come closer up to the camera. You have a couple different parts. So you have what you call here the welt. This thing is nasty, right? Because this is an old shoe. Generally, when you're doing it, you want to take the laces off as well. That stuff's pretty easy. But you're gonna brush off all the dirt before we actually apply the polish, or else it's gonna get real nasty real quick, right? So, when you're doing it with the boot brush, and you're getting the welt, you want to really kind of scrape in there, and I'll show you guys in a second how much better that looks. Shoe shining does not take that long. I'm just kind of drawing it out for the process of it. Getting inside, on the inside of the shoe, right, where it kind of has that curve, can be sometimes difficult, so just do your best on that. But you can tell that looks a lot better, at least on the welt anyways. So before you apply shoe shine, you want to kind of brush off all the dirt and stuff, because if not, it's going to get real nasty real quick. Alright, you don't have to go super hard on it. And oftentimes when you're doing shoe shine, you want to be careful on where you're doing it and what you're going to be doing it on. So for those of you that generally only have carpet inside the house, try to go outside. If it's too cold, maybe set up some newspapers. Also, never shine your shoes while you're wearing your khakis, your khaki uniform, because if you get even a little bit of polish on there, it's going to become real hard. Alright, so you're going to take your shoe polish, right? So there'll be this little dial on top. You'll just turn that till the lid pops off, and then you should have this lovely little wax on the inside. You're gonna go ahead and use that. So you're gonna take your boot brush and your wax, right? And you're just gonna dab it. You don't want a lot on there because you don't really need a lot on there, because this stuff will spread easily. So you're gonna take the part that has all the shoe polish on it, and you're just gonna apply it onto the shoe. Kind of just smear it on a little bit. Now you don't want it to be too much, because then it'll thicken up way more than what you want. And it's gonna look kind of like you're scuffing it, right? So for those of you who don't know what scuffing it is, it's just making it dirty. It's gonna come like a dark little color, right? Let me apply some more, because I don't think that was enough. All right. So you want to try to get the back heel too, because this is where you'll be getting like little marks for when you go to attention. Doing that's very important. And then getting that tongue, right? That tongue is kind of an issue. I personally, I sometimes forget to do it, but you know, it's not too big of an issue, but I still try to do it. All right, so just kind of smear it on. You don't want to use too much polish, because then you'll get like little chunks on them. And you don't want to do that. That becomes a problem. So after you applied the polish, now it's time to do what we call buffing. So you're going to take your brush and you just slightly apply some pressure. And while you're slightly applying pressure, you're going to be going across. And you don't want to like rub it down. You want to just barely tap it. Right? So just barely tap it. Go all the way around the shoe. All right, pretty simple. Doesn't have to be perfect. Right, don't forget the tongue piece right there. Right. From where we started, that's a lot better. You can actually see a shine. Again, if you're getting new shoes, it's gonna be a minute before you're gonna have to do it a few times before you can actually start seeing any kind of shine on there. So there's another process that we can do, and that's what we call spit shine. I didn't grab water, I'm insulted. So when you're doing spit shine, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have like a rag or an old sock, whatever you want. You're gonna fill this with water, right? So I'll be right back. So you're gonna have your water inside your top of your can. That's the easiest way to do it, at least. Generally, hot water works better, just because that adds more heat, which gets better shine on it. So you'll have a rag. Right, this one's been used. You can have a rag. This is gonna help you out a lot, or you can use an old sock. It's really up to you. Generally, you want this kind of certain material. So what you'll do is you'll kind of wrap your fingers in it, right? And you want it to be a nice, good wrap. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the tighter the better, right? So then what you'll do is you'll literally just slightly dab your finger into your polish, because you don't want a lot, right? Then you'll kind of dunk that into the water, and then you'll smear it around. You still want to add some pressure, but you don't want to put a lot on there. And this process is called spit shine. Right, so I'm only going to do the front, because that's, generally where we look. Still do all around the sides though. All right. Right. Not a lot. Dunk it in water and go around it. Now, when you're doing spit shine, you'll feel it you'll feel it kind of start giving more friction. If that's the case, just line up. Don't put as much pressure. All right. If there's like large water droplets or a lot of water, that means you need to add more shine. Don't put a stupid amount. Again, you don't want to end up causing more issues later. All right, so just kind of nice and even across the entire thing. All right. Remember, I've only spit shined the front, right? I've only spit shined that part. The rest of this is just kind of normal shine. Normal shine takes a couple more tries to really get it shining again. This is an old shoe from actually inside the back of Matt Surgeon's room that I've shined up. All right, you got to make sure the welt is clear, and that's looking a lot better than when we started. All right. Oftentimes too, you can use a rag. Generally, it's better if you do this with a buddy. But you can also do this thing where you kind of prop your shoe up and you take this rag and you go across it. Don't do it when there's water on it, right? But you can do this to kind of help give it a little more shine because friction is really what makes that wax melt, which is what the polish is, and that makes it shine better. Right? That's a lot better than how we started. Then if you're gonna do lacing, lacing's a little more trickier. That's mainly because it has to be left over right on each side. So when you're doing your lacing, right, you'll have your string. You'll stick the string through the very bottom on both sides, and then you want to kind of even it up, right? Try to have the aglets even, and then you're going to kind of alternate it, right? So in this case, I'm going to go right in on the inside. I'm going to pull it through, not so tight that I start losing slack, and then I'm going to go up one and over, right? Same kind of deal. So I'm leaving the other hole available for the other side of the string. And you just do this all the way up, right? Pretty nice and solid. Now, for the other side, this is where it starts getting kind of interesting, because it's left over right always, right? So you have it going across. So when you're doing left over right, you want to make sure the left side, right, it's facing out. When you put it in, so in this case, we're going to go over, right, over to get that cross, and under to make sure that left side is going over the right. Over, and then under. Right? And that's how it should be. It should always be left over right. That's the trick with lacing these shoes. And then, you know, just tie, do whatever. And then you've shined your shoe. You've made sure that your so you've taken your boot brush, you've gone the welt, you've shined it like normal, and then you've also done spit shine with the rag, and then you've now learned how to lace it.